All right, in this lesson, let's talk about what NLP is. NLP stands for Natural Language Processing. And here is the best definition I could find. All right, so the idea of natural language processing is to do some form of analysis or processing where the machine, or the computer, can understand, at least at some level, what text means, what it says or implies. All right, so how do we do that? How do we get from these words, right, these are words, to numbers? Well, what we do is to break things down into their smallest form. So here's an example. In this section, we're working with this, NLTK, and this is a natural language toolkit, right? And it's a toolkit for NLP, for natural language processing. Here, we've seen this before. From what? From NLTK. Import what? Word tokenizer. Right? Remember what tokenize means? It means to break things down into smaller pieces. All right? Word tokenize. Right? We've brought it in. Let's go ahead and use it. Word tokenize this sentence. And what it's done is broken this sentence down into words, even the period. Right? So this is the token. We'll call it toke. That's a token. And all these are tokens. All right. So once we break these down into tokens, we continue to step through the process. We look at words like eyes. I is what's called a stop word. Stop words have no meaning, and we can get rid of them. What about the word like? Like we need. That definitely has sentiment. Mics, courses. All right, we're keeping all this. We can get rid of that too. So now we have three words. These are three tokens. So now what do? Well, oftentimes, learning from text, we have this thing called a bag of words. And what we do is we create a dictionary of those words, and then we count their frequency. This is a bad example. I like Mike's courses. Mike shows us each line of code. Right. And what we would do is first kill the stop words, right? And then count the frequency of the words that are left. Mike. There's Mike once. There's Mike twice. Mike occurs in this body of text twice. How about shows? Shows occurs once. Code is once. So again, not the world's best example. How about like? Shows us like appears once. So what we do now is we count the number of words in a body of text, right? Let's say this is a tweet about a movie. Well, if there are a ton of likes and loves, then that's going to be a positive tweet. What if there are a bunch of hates and sucks, right? That is going to be a negative tweet. It seems rather simplistic, but this is actually how sentiment analysis is done. Well, it's one way sentiment analysis is done. So this should give you a basic idea of how we break down words or text into numbers and make sense of those numbers.